This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, everyone. It's for me personally, it's a great honor to have the opportunity to go to the Kever of Eliezer Silver, who lived from 1882 to 1968. He accomplished many great things for the Jewish people. He was the president of the Union of Orthodox Rabbis of the United States and Canada. Thank you. And he held many rabbinical positions, whether in New York, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and then finally in Cincinnati. He was very involved in the Vad's efforts in rescuing Jews during World War II. He raised $5 million in the 1940s to rescue Jews, to bribe SS officers to release Jews. He rescued 2,000 Jews from Bergen-Belsen. He took advantage of a loophole in American immigration law, where even though there were quotas on American immigration, but clergy was exempt from that quota. So he had every shul in Cincinnati offer contracts to young rabbinical students and rabbanim in Europe. He rescued 2,000 rabbanim through this loophole that he discovered in American immigration law. I want to just tell you one personal thought about Rabbi Eliezer Silver. We're all familiar with the famous story. He would go into monasteries and houses of Christianity, where he would say, okay, you know, there are thousands of Jewish children here. We put our children here only because we didn't think we'd ever see them again, but they're ours. And they would say, no, there are no Jewish children here. And they would basically hide them during the day. So Rabbi Eliezer Silver would make sure to come back nighttime, where he would cry out the Shema Yisrael, and these Yiddish kinderlach would stir because they remember the Shema from their youth. That story is etched in my mind. I think about it every Ne'ilah, because we always end off the Ne'ilah Shema Yisrael, as if we're all lost Yiddish kinderlach, and we get lost in our activities throughout the year, and we forget about our objective in this world. And I always think when we cry out the Shema at the end of Ne'ilah, I think of Rabbi Eliezer Silver crying out the Shema, and then from like the deep recesses of our heart, when we hear the call of the Shema Yisrael, it sort of awakens us where we belong and what our objective is, and it refocuses us for the coming year. So here you have one of the most formidable Jewish scholars, really, of the last 100 years. You know, Rabbi Yoshe Ber Soloveitchik was once invited to give a shir, and his father told him, in America you have no one to be scared of except for Rabbi Eliezer Silver, especially don't talk about Kachim, because Rabbi Eliezer Silver is familiar, Baal Peh, with every Tosfos Yeshanim in Seder Kachim. I had the zchus to know two great Talmidei Chachamim in Queens. One was a Talmud Muvuk of Rabbi Eliezer Silver. His name was Rabbi Shlomo Warman, who was like the primary disciple of Rabbi Eliezer Silver. And the other was Rabbi Shmaryahu Shulman, who was a Musmach of Yeshiva Ner Yisrael, who Rabbi Shmaryahu Shulman said that in the 40s, Rabbi Eliezer Silver came to visit Yeshiva Ner Yisrael, and he would always give a lot of money to Bachrim who excelled in their learning, that he gave $50 to 4 Bachrim. $50 in 1940, I don't know, how much money is that? It's got to be a few $100, maybe $1,000? Yeah, something like that. And Rabbi Shulman was a recipient of one of those one of those gifts. Rabbi Eliezer Silver, one of his hallmark characteristics was to be mechazek, budding B'nai Torah, to encourage them to pursue and delve into their learning, to develop into Talmidei Chachamim. So soon we'll have the opportunity for those who are able to run off the bus.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.